Donald Cerrone and Conor McGregor, if it does get made, what do you think of it, and how do you think it goes down?
If that fight does happen, I see Conor just kind of sticking him with that left hand. I mean, I think that they know that too. It's the right pick for him. Cowboy stands a little too tall. The size might play a big factor in that one, but I just don't see no way around Conor being slicker with his boxing.
That's an interesting fight. I have to give it to Cowboy. Yeah.
How do you think he would get the win?
I think he would use some wrestling, and I think he would try to wear on him. And we've seen Conor's kind of had some issues with cardio going into later rounds when guys are wearing on him. And Cowboy's the bigger guy. So I think with the wrestling, cage work, keeping him at distance with his range and strikes, I don't know. I'd say he's taking it to the ground and trying to submit him.
I think Cerrone will take that fight. I think Cerrone will catch him with a head kick and wobble him and get him out of there. Yeah.
I think it's a good fight, man. A good fight. Cerrone versus McGregor would be super epic fight for the both of them. That's a good question. Both have very good striking. I think Conor McGregor's got the distance management down pat a little bit better. But Donald Cerrone, man, he's a tough dude. You can't take him lightly. It's kind of up in the air with those two. I have no idea. It's been a while since Conor McGregor's fought, so we don't know if he's got any cage rust or ring rust or whatever. And Cerrone's coming off of a loss, so I don't know, man. It's up in the air. I can't predict out of those two. It's hard.
You know, I'm going with my favorite gunslinger in the West, Cowboy, Donald Cerrone all day.
You know what? I mean, it's a fight that Cowboy deserves, but it's not really one that I think is very appealing. I think something more appealing would be Justin Gaethje or Yair Rodriguez against Conor.
I think Conor get that one.
How do you think you get it done?
I'm not sure. They both can strike. I think he's a little longer than Cerrone. And Cerrone has a ground game that can put him away, but as you see, Conor isn't completely oblivious to his ground game. He did pretty well defending the takedown against Khabib for a little bit. And who was it? Diaz. He took Diaz down, but he got caught, so he's learning. And with his time off, I'm sure he grew in that aspect as well.
Conor and Cerrone, what do you think of it, and how do you think it goes down?
I think that's an awesome fight. I love both of the guys. Their fighting styles is great. And I don't know, normally at the best of both, I would say Conor has the advantage, but at this moment Conor has been off for a while. I would say it's a 50-50 fight.
We might see Conor McGregor get back in there against Donald Cerrone. What do you think about that, and who do you think comes out the winner of that?
I think Conor comes out the winner for that for sure. Yeah.
What do you think about the matchup? How do you think it would go down?
Conor keeps it on the feet and puts it away. Yeah.
I don't really know either one of those guys too much, so I could kind of just pick on strategy on this one. You know what, man? I don't know why. Not that I'm not gonna say I don't know why, but I'm a McGregor fan, man. Like, everything he does is awesome. The guy's pretty cool. I got McGregor in that one, man. He's fun to watch, and if you could land some shots early on Cowboy and kind of take his confidence away, that seems to bother him a little bit. So I'd take Conor in that one.
About Conor McGregor maybe coming back against Cowboy Cerrone, if that does happen, how do you think that goes down?
I think Conor's too quick with his hands. I think Cowboy gets hit quite a lot, and I think Conor will land a shot that will put him down.
I honestly think that's a good fight for Conor. I'm a big fan of Cowboy. I'm a really big fan of Cowboy at welterweight, and I feel like when he moves down to lightweight, maybe some physical weaknesses show themselves again. We've seen him get hurt a few times to the body when he's at lightweight. I feel like he's more durable at welterweight. And I feel like with Conor's footwork and his ability to counter punch, might be a problem for Cowboy. The one thing I always go back to when it comes to Cowboy is his performance against Paul Kelly. That was a long time ago, I know, but against Paul Kelly, because he got beat up in the first round. Paul Kelly's boxing was excellent in that fight. But Cowboy came out the next round, he was like, no more of this, take him down, choke him out. And I think people underestimate I think people underestimate Cowboy's ground game. And I think this might be a good opportunity for him to exploit that, to show that that is the hole in Conor's game that other people have been able to exploit, and that Cowboy is the mixed martial artist that people think he is. I mean, we get drawn up into the idea of him being a kickboxer and that, but his ground game is excellent, and I do think he beats Conor on the ground if he takes it there.
I don't know. I like to watch those guys. I like to watch McGregor do. So I can't wait to see those fights. Donald Cerrone, also a tough guy, doing his thing a long time ago. Respect for those guys. Yeah.
Who do you think comes out with the win?
I don't know.
KO, first round, Conor.
Cowboy Cerrone and Conor McGregor.
Oh, that's a tough one, really. I feel like Conor's definitely still in the game, but he's probably not as much as he used to. He probably doesn't put as much time in, and Cowboy's definitely on the come up right now. So I feel like that really could go either way.
Yeah, I like them both, but if Conor plays the game, I think Conor will win, because if he fucks with him mentally, like maybe Nate Diaz did, then I think he can get it. But it's a hard fight. Cowboy's crazy himself, so that's a tough one. But because Conor is so mentally strong and Cowboy's at the end of his career, maybe not, but I think Conor will get it in the first round. And those are the predictions. In MMA, they don't count in real life. Anything can happen. It's a crazy sport.
How you see Thank you very much for your time.
That's a very, very bad stylistic matchup for Cerrone. He's a very slow starter against one of the hardest hitting, fastest, most powerful men in the whole division. I can see it lasting about 45 seconds, so I can't see it getting most past that. Now, if Cerrone gets into the later rounds, which I can't see at all, it could be like a little bit of a different fight, but I think stylistically it's a very bad matchup for Cerrone, and I think Conor pans him out very quick.
If that fight does happen, I see Conor stopping him. Cerrone is good, but stylistically, it's a match made in heaven for Conor. You know what I mean? You better see his strikes and counter him. So if the fight does get announced, I'll have Conor for that one. Yeah.
That's hard to call because obviously Conor's a bit of a special athlete, but Cerrone, you'd say, is the bigger man, and obviously a lot of experience, and generally you go with the more active fighter. Yeah, it really depends on what Conor turns up. Yeah, you put me on the spot there. I'm gonna edge Cerrone. I'm gonna edge Cerrone for it just because he's been more active, and I expect he'll be the bigger man.
Conor McGregor and Donald Cerrone, how do you think that goes down?
If Conor's the same Conor as he used to be before all his layoff and stuff like that, I feel like it can be a really bad fight for Cerrone. I feel like Cerrone starts really slow and McGregor's out fast, wide stances in your face straight away and landing heavy shots, and I feel like that's going to be a real issue for Cerrone to deal with. But he has looked really good lately, Cerrone, and he can be really durable as well. It just depends what Cerrone turns up. I feel like if the fight gets finished early, it'll be McGregor that finishes him early. But I think if it goes past 1 round, 2 rounds, I feel like Cerrone can start edging it. Start getting him up here, slowing him down there. And it's all what McGregor's like after his layoff, you know what I mean? But if I had to make a solid prediction, I'd say McGregor not out early. Like I feel like that's the way it'll probably go. Like, aye. Thank you.
And Donald Cerrone.
Is that actually happening?
If it happens, it hasn't been confirmed yet, but they're trying to put it together. Yeah.
Nah. There's no point. Like until it's confirmed, it don't even mean nothing. Like there's too many. Right now, he's constantly he jumps on. He's supposed to be fighting one person, or he's potentially going to come back to fight this person. I have no interest until something's confirmed.